What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to Breaking Bet here on this Wednesday, October 29th, previewing the Week 9 NFL slate during the World Series. I do realize it's a buzzkill, but some scheduling, we had to push back the show. So really do appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. My boy Trey Savage is, in fact, dealing. I got my guy Brad Thomas here, somebody that's also dealing at 100% clip. What's up, big dog? How we doing?
Dude, man, yeah, I'm the reason that we got pushed back. So one of my favorite bars, like know all the owners and everything, is closing their shop. So today was their going away party, so I went there. It's actually, you guys might get a little spicy, Brad. I don't drink like whatever, but I had a couple cocktails today.
Ooh.
I had 3, maybe 4. I don't know if they're gonna affect me or whatever, but
what did you drink? People are asking.
I had a vodka club soda. And then I had 3 shots of Jameson. No.
Dude.
1 shot of Jameson, 2 shots of Proper 12.
You are going to be half in the bag, Brad, tonight. Let's do it, dude. I got the World Series on, so this will be the only show that we will have that on. So I do realize that we got some epic stuff going this evening. But, Brad, as we do every week, let's kick off what we're expecting for Week 9.
Dude, I am expecting the return of Lamar Jackson. I was actually, we've seen some tomfoolery with the injury reports, and Lamar Jackson's finally saying, you got some good news, finally saying that he's going to come back. And this is like probably the best game for the Ravens because they played so well last week. Now they get a team coming off a massive win for their organization, but they still suck, right? Like the Dolphins came off that. Dolphins played probably as well as you could against any team, and now they play against a Ravens team getting their star back with a little bit of mojo. They're the favorite to win their division, so I'm really excited for that. Weather now, we're getting in football weather, so we'll see some weather that's going to be in the 40s. I think this is going to be like the second and third time we've seen weather in the 40s so far this year. Now we start to think about how that affects players, right? The colder the weather, the slower the game starts. Something to always remember.
It's actually funny that you mentioned the Ravens. They moved up a tick. They were like minus 110 this week to win the division. Again, I'm only looking on FanDuel, so you got to look elsewhere just for simplicity purposes. But now they're minus 125. I honestly think in terms of divisional bets, I think that's one of the best divisional bets to make is Ravens to win the AFC North. I mean, it's damn near even money for Baltimore to win. I mean, look, man, Lamar's obviously a difference maker. But that aside, the Bengals, especially with that defense, aren't winning the division. Let's get that out right now. Cleveland is not winning the division. So it's really between Baltimore and Pittsburgh. And Brad, we've both been on the wave that like we don't think Pittsburgh's that good. They just lost to Green Bay. They got to play Indy this week. Like we're both of that belief. I mean, look, if you're taking a peek at what Baltimore's got coming up, they're at Miami this week. They're at Vikings next week. They're at Cleveland. So 3 straight road games. Then they come home to play the Jets, Bengals, Steelers. Go to the Bengals. I don't know if I like it or don't like it, but I always feel like the Bengals and Ravens always have this thing where they play each other twice in 3 weeks. I feel like it's happened multiple times last few years. They come back home and play New England, and then they go to Green Bay, go to Pittsburgh. Realistically, Baltimore might only lose 1 or 2 of those games. Like the Ravens minus 125 is probably one of my favorite future plays, like non-player, non-awards, non-stats, like nothing player related is probably one of my favorite futures. Like that's a 2-unit play for me. Assuming everybody stays healthy, like they can overcome their defense. They can overcome some of these deficiencies they have with Lamar back. Assuming he stays healthy. To me, that's really all the bet is if Lamar is good to go the rest of the way. Minus 125, really, like, and it's crazy because we're asking ourselves, like, the Ravens for the last few weeks, even without Lamar, they're still like
they're trending up.
They're still favorites to win the division, despite the fact that they're 1-5. And it's like on paper, you're like, what is going on? How does that make any sense? But in truth, I'm almost mad that the books are like sharp enough to be like, dude, relax. What do you think? It's our first rodeo. Like, We know Lamar's coming back. So I wish like there was an opportunity maybe to grab them like plus 125 or something like that. But I think the Ravens minus 125 is damn near free if LJ stays healthy here.
Yeah, I actually like the abundance. I like the abundance of caution, right? But then they showed last week
liability protection on the sports
Yep,
books.
because like you said, you look at their schedule, these are winnable games. And they stole one, right? They stole one last week, and now they get Lamar Jackson back with an extra week of rest.
Yep.
It's a short week too. Imagine your quarterback coming off an injury, a hamstring at that, plays last week and then has to play a short week. Like that's just recipe for disaster.
So it's funny because last week, Lamar's practicing, and we talked about this on Sunday. And I'm like, dude, and I think the Ravens are going to get penalized for it. But I'm like, listen, it's fine sitting him out, but he practiced all week. And then it's like basically saying he's going to come back and get the start here. But like the whole time I'm thinking it doesn't make sense for the Ravens to play him on Sunday and then turn around and have to go on the road for a Thursday game. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. So that was in the back of my mind, but it's just like, dude, Baltimore knew what they knew what they were doing. But week 9, man, it's a lot of probably maybe a little bit better than last week's slate, but last week's slate was brutal. I mean, it was a ton of favorites, ton of overs. So if you just went chalk latte, you cashed and you probably had a really good weekend. I got absolutely bent over by Cincinnati's collapse. Cost me a little bit of all, so I was a little upset there. But week 9 could be more of the same. I feel like we could see a lot of favorites, a lot of big numbers this week. Speaking of one of the favorites, Baltimore, stay with the Ravens here, traveling to the Dolphins, laying 7.5 on Thursday. Brad, a couple weeks ago when I was at the Miami-Louisville game, I had a buddy that I became boys with when I lived in Tampa 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Hit me up. Was like, yo, I got an extra ticket. You trying to slide? No doubt. So I am going to the game tomorrow. But that aside, is this a Raven spot for you laying the 7.5?
No. It's not. I do think the Ravens win this game, but even with Lamar Jackson back, I don't trust him defensively. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm on the Dolphins bandwagon by any stretch of the imagination, right? This is a team that had lost 3 straight, that had 1 win on the season prior to last week. They go out and they play Kirk Cousins, who they were getting pressure on, who was just absolutely abysmal. But it's still a team that's a work in progress, right? Like the Ravens defensively stink, and when I just can't trust a team defensively, then I'm just not down to lay 7.5. Like, okay, let's put this in perspective. Johnny, listen to this. The Dolphins, the Ravens are their biggest favorite of all season that they've been. I don't care that it's against the Dolphins. I can't take the 7.5 on the road on primetime. I'm going to fact check that because I think I made that statement ballooned it out of my butt. But
all right, so right I think this is, while you're getting that up, I think this is a classic Miami letdown spot.
Second biggest favorite. I forgot about the Browns. They were a 13.5 point favorite against the Browns.
I think this is a huge letdown spot for Miami.
Yeah.
I do, sure. And listen, it's funny because I want to say before last week, it might have been week 7 we had this. I can't remember if week 6 or week 7 was the last time we talked about it, but we were on this thing that I kept mentioning, that primetime dogs all season were an ATM, not only covering but winning outright. And then pretty much as soon as I said that, I think it was that week or the next week, the favorites started running through. So like the last couple of weeks, the favorites have been ripping in primetime. Now, listen, that's not my handicap. Just an interesting note to think about. I like the Ravens here for a lot of reasons. One, I think they are going to be amped up that Lamar's back. I think not just from a play perspective, just the attitude, the energy, the confidence level is going to be sky high. I think they're going to shred this Miami defense. Shred. That's why the total's 50.5. I understand that the Baltimore defense is hello. I think obviously the Baltimore defense is a liability, and that is something of a concern for sure.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, man, I'd be surprised if Baltimore doesn't put up pretty much close to a 30 bean in this one. I think Miami's due for a letdown spot here. Ultimately, I understand it's a big number. It's on the road. It's a short week. But this just feels like a potential Ravens blowout spot. Like Ravens win by double digits. They win handedly. Listen, I could be wrong.
No.
But just a lot. And listen, let me ask you a question. Realistically, if Miami goes in as they closed as a 6.5-point dog in Atlanta last week, if Miami goes into Atlanta and they lose by like 7 to 10 points, are you still sitting here saying the Dolphins catching 7.5 at home is too many? Or does your opinion change?
My opinion changes.
Exactly. And I think that's why as bettors, and listen, at the end of the day, I hate to say it, but nobody knows shit. We could just use, to quote our late great friend, the sportsbook and SIG, Mr. Dave Sharapan, nobody knows shit. But we can take the information that we have and use the analysis from past weeks the best we can. And honestly, I think if Michael Penix plays, Drake London plays, the result is probably different for Atlanta and Miami. And look, man, I think Miami played a weakened Falcons team, and they took advantage. And Tua did play well. Devon Achane looked good. Jalen Waddle was running up and down the field. I think the Ravens are going to win this one big. I'm going to the game tomorrow. Like I said, I'm probably going to put something in on Baltimore straight to cover the 7.5.
Oh, so you are going?
Yeah, I'm going.
Hell
Obviously,
yeah.
you don't like the 7 and a hook, but I just outside of the backdoor cover, I think I'd be surprised to see the Dolphins hang with the Ravens here. I know the defense is vulnerable, but I got to be honest, dude. I think if the Ravens build a big lead and force Miami and Tua to have to drop back 40 times, it's going to be tough sledding for them.
Let's talk props because I thought this number was pretty interesting. Devon Achane is 62.5, and I thought a lot of people would be running to the window to bet him at. He had a 60, 67. Oh, man, I can't remember his rushing yards. 67 on 18 carries or something like that. 67-ish, less than 70, above 65. I know that on 18 carries, but he looked good, and I thought people would be running to the window to bet his over. Right, I was like, thought that would be the compelling play by everyone, especially with the Ravens being like in the bottom 3 or 4 a defensive EPA against the rush. Run D is pretty suspect, but I was wrong. A lot of people are betting the under there, money coming on the under. So I didn't think I was very smart with that. I do like Derrick Henry 100+ this game. Adding in Lamar Jackson, no more stacked boxes against a really putrid, the worst run defense in the league.
Yep. I think this is a King Henry game. Okay, so Henry Hundy, I like. I think probably Achane. I think, dude, Achane over catches last week I talked about was.
What did he finish with that game? I can't remember.
So it's funny. It was 4.5. I think he finished with 5, but also like he finished with 5. So the handicap was it was in reverse. The reason why I thought he was going to get a lot of catches because I thought they were going to be playing from behind. Like usually you're reading the tea leaves of the spread. Like if the game flow dictates what the spread is based on, and Miami's playing from behind. And if Miami's playing from behind, there's a lot of checkdowns. Regardless, Achane still cashed the number. I don't know if he cashed the yardage. I'd have to double check that. But honestly, Devon Achane catches is interesting. This one's set at 5.5 this week. That's plus 130, juice to the over. I'd still take a shot on that. I wouldn't parlay that. I would probably go that like on a single play for Achane to get 6 catches.
Yeah.
Henry 100 yards looks good. Lamar, I mean, I think they're going to come back ready to go. Maybe Lamar over 233.5 passing. A couple big places. Zay Flowers kind of get back on track with his QB1 back. He is plus 115 on FanDuel to score. He's actually from the area. He's from South Florida.
Yeah, he is.
Homecoming for him. I think that's a solid look. Last one I probably have props-wise, Derrick Henry, 18.5 carries. Is that a touch high? Like, if
high.
the Ravens are playing with a lead.
I don't think Derrick Henry gets this with a lead or without the lead.
Okay.
I think I have him at 16.5.
So he's been running. He's got 21 carries last week, and he had 24 the week before. But before that, his high was 18. But they've been leaning on him a lot with either Cooper Rush or Snoop Huntley. Lamar got hurt during that Kansas City game.
Yeah.
And blowout. Henry only had 8 carries. Then he had 15 against Houston. I mean, Houston, they got smoked against. He did well against the Rams. I don't know, 18.5 solid. I think that's solid. I don't love it. I think the yards are probably something I'd gravitate more towards.
Luckily for anybody who takes his over, the Dolphins play at too fast of a pace for a bad team, which means they should have more possessions.
Yeah, but I also wonder, like,
damn, Derrick Henry on legals is only plus 130 for 100. I can get him plus 117.
Like, does Henry have a few of those like 30, 40-yard runs? Does he have like one of those 60-yard touchdown runs? And he's at like 12 carries for $120, and then the game gets so out of hand. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I do like the yards. I'm with you there. I do wonder, like, what does Lamar look like running wise? Do they try to run him a lot? Is he full go? They can be a little bit more conservative, so I have questions on that. But I just think the threat is enough for Henry to get going here, and it's a great matchup. I think I wouldn't be deterred because Bijan did nothing last week against this run defense. I think that happened because the game script obviously went sideways, and they didn't give him the ball enough. And somehow, some way, Bijan Robinson, and I'm not even talking about just rushing, but he didn't get the ball enough. It's really puzzling to see what Zach Taylor had going on for an offensive game script. As my boy Trey Savage has 7 Ks, he is dotting.
Hell yeah.
Big incubator guy. Bijan Robinson had 12 touches, by the way, last week. 12. He had 9 carries, and he only had 3 targets, 3 catches. So, bizarre. But all right, Brad, let us move on here. Speaking of Atlanta, they are a royal mint spot at New England. I'll let you start this one off.
Whew. New Orleans is the freaking real deal, right? I mean, New England is the real deal, right? I keep trying to poke holes. I keep saying this is a bad situational spot, yet they keep covering. There aren't many quarterbacks who are more efficient than Mr. Drake May. Oh my God, bro. I text my buddy and I said, the Patriots are back. Let me put this, I'm going to set this little cue here. I want to talk about EPA per play because EPA per play, there are only three quarterbacks that are higher than him, EPA per play. We did minimum snaps. None of those guys who just been playing a couple weeks. Jordan Love, Daniel Jones, Lamar Jackson. EPA per pass, Drake May second, only behind Mr. Efficiency and Daniel Jones himself. I do worry about the pass, about the pass rush. I do worry about the pass blocking, excuse me. Myles Garrett feasted against them, but it didn't matter, right? Because there was a couple things I saw from Drake May that I really liked. Whenever the pocket collapsed and there was a hole in the middle, he instead of him accepting that and throwing the ball away, he actually gained yardage. He went through that. He stepped up in the pocket and then found the opening and ran. The Falcons are due for a bounce back, but I just really think this Patriots team is for real. Every time I get ready to bet them, I just feel like, are we overvaluing them? We didn't overvalue them at 7. Now they're 5.5. This is lower than last week. What do you think about this game?
Obviously the Royal Mint spot I have to take until like Sunday before kickoff.
Yeah.
I personally don't think it's going to close at 5.5. I just don't. It's been holding firm through the first 3 days of the week. I would probably say it doesn't close at 5.5. I think I could see it get down to maybe some start play on Atlanta, gets down to 4.5, or maybe some money comes in on New England, gets it to 6. That being said, there's almost since I've been betting and had the Royal Mint in my possession, there's maybe, and I mean maybe, like 2 or 3 times all time that I didn't take a Royal Mint team, that I said I wouldn't take them. If Michael Penix is back, Drake London's back, I think I'd still probably take Atlanta here. I think just off the spot alone, and that, of course, that goes on Sunday morning, like right before kickoff. Look, man, I think New England is a good team. Fundamentally, they are strong. They do a lot of little things well. They're not super flashy. Drake May's been playing great, super efficient. Sort of like a mini Indianapolis Colts, obviously without Jonathan Taylor, right? Like the Colts and the Patriots are very similar in my opinion. Sans Taylor, because Taylor is like he makes up a huge gap.
Yep.
The thing is, I don't think New England is as good as what they've shown. I think they're getting away with a lot of this stuff because they've played a relatively soft schedule. They beat Buffalo, and that's an impressive one. Going into Buffalo and beating them, that's impressive. But other than that, they haven't really played anybody. They haven't beaten anybody. So, and I'm not saying Atlanta is that team, because I don't think they are.
Yeah.
At some point, I feel like the regression should set in for New England, because playing at the level of efficiency that they have been, you'd have to check the EPA per play and DVOAs and all those advanced metrics. But I can't deny what they've been doing. That said, if it stays 5.5 at close, I'm probably going to go with Atlanta. If it moves off, I think I might go New England. Because, here's the thing. Atlanta has these moments where they can play really well. But honestly, they haven't played really many complete games of football. Like, even the Buffalo, it was all done in the first half. Their offense did almost nothing in the second half. Their defense has been playing well enough for some contest, but it might be a Royal Mint or pass for me. I probably would have a better opinion come Sunday morning. See what the on our Sunday kickoff show. See what the injury reports suggest and all that. All right, Green Bay hosting Carolina. Brad, there's some differentiators here. This moved up from 12.5 to 13.5 on FanDuel. There's still 12.5 on DK. Not 100% sure yet what the status of Bryce Young is. I'll be honest, though. I think I like Green Bay. Even if it is Young. And I'll tell you why. Carolina is not the same team, and we're putting some asterisks on this. They're not the same team on the road as they are at home. They got blown out at Jacksonville. They got blown out at New England. They should have gotten blown out by Arizona if Arizona didn't take their foot off the gas. The only road win I think they have is against the Jets. Their defense, while it might rank a little bit more impressive in terms of overall stats, probably isn't as good as what those numbers suggest. I mean, J.C. Horn's a dog for sure, no doubt, but I don't think their defense really is that good. They can most certainly be had. Offensively, Ted McMillan's the truth. We've been pretty firm on that this year. Rico Dowdle's played well, but if game script forces Carolina and Bryce Young or Andy Dalton have to drop back and throw a ton against a ferocious Green Bay pass rush where the run game is neutralized, that is not the spot that they want to be in, even laying a big number. Green Bay, I have questions about their secondary. Front to back, I don't think they're a great defense right now, but their pass rush, their front four, their front seven has been really good. Jacobs, dog, Jordan Love starting to look like he's going to get, running on that track. Played really well on Sunday. Tucker Kraft's been a madman. Christian Watson's back. I think Green Bay ends up covering this number. I think Green Bay wins in a blowout. I mean, I'd be looking to take the 12.5 on DK.
Yeah, so the Panthers are an interesting team because I think we want them to be better than they really are. And the teams that they've had success against were teams that they were just able to pound the rock. We know, and you said this, that the Packers are not going to allow that to happen, which means it makes them a one-dimensional team, whether that's Andy Dalton or that is Bryce Young. I just don't see the success here. I feel like, especially, if you want to talk about the angle of a letdown spot or an emotional let-off spot after the Packers just played Aaron Rodgers, I actually think the way the Packers handled that game, it was a bigger emotional game for Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers than it was for the Packers. It didn't feel that emotional for the Packers. Like, normally when it's a really emotional game and you want to beat someone really bad, your starting quarterback doesn't say, I think it's cool, I want to get his jersey at the end of the game before the game starts. It felt like it was just another Sunday for the Packers. This would be a travesty play down to your level type game if the Packers don't win and cover this, because they can just neutralize the Carolina Panthers. And we just watched teams have success on the Panthers running the ball, a team that was supposed to be improved in their run defense. And I think Josh Jacobs, I think Eman can have success as well, which makes the passing game much easier for a guy who just threw for 300 passing yards last game against a better defense.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo just destroyed. I mean, we both loved Buffalo last week. Like, it was a no doubt. Like 7.5, Josh Allen off the bye. Bills lost a couple games, all that. They put up a 40 game against Carolina. I mean, some of it was led to Andy Dalton turnovers and whatnot, but let's be honest. Buffalo did whatever they wanted. James Cook ran up and down the field all day. If they decided to keep handing the ball to James Cook and keep him in for the whole game, he's running for north of 200 easy. So I just, Carolina, in my opinion, even if it's young, I think if Green Bay just doesn't play down in the gutter, if they don't stoop to the level of Carolina and they go for the kill, then I think this is a very handed win for the Packers. All right, listen, we highlight our wins. We highlight the stuff that we were right on. But we also talk about what we were dead ass wrong.
Didn't even cover the teaser.
Based on last week's calculations, in terms of the plays we really liked, the only game that we were dead ass wrong on was the San Francisco-Houston game. And we spent like 10 minutes figuring out why is Houston favored. And I'll be honest, I still don't understand how they decided to they looked like what they did. But Houston handled business. That was the sharp side, and you know what? It delivered, and that's why we're sharp bettors. So that was the only game I think off the top of my head that we were dead wrong on. Now let's play this again. Houston's a 1.5 point favorite hosting Denver. Is Denver wrongly underdogs?
Dude. What the hell? I know that Texans defense is really good. They played like it. But they were carving up. They were carving up the secondary of the Niners. And the Niners were giving up so much space. But
every third down, Houston picked them out. Okay, here we go. It's a 3rd and 7. Let's stop. And it'd be a free release. It'd be a free release out route. Nobody's even within 3 yards of the receiver. And it's no Nico Collins. It's Higgins and Hutchinson. I'm like, what is going on here on this Robert Saleh-led defense?
And wait, also, Robert Saleh didn't blitz for the whole first quarter. And I know he doesn't blitz a lot. And then I literally typed this up and I go, why isn't Robert Saleh blitzing? Blitz is the very next play. They let CJ Stroud run for 15 yards because they forget their freaking gap integrity, not gap integrity, excuse me. Their their pressure lanes. They go outside their pressure lanes, which basically means they just leave these big gaping holes because they were uneven. And
It was bad. It was a bad effort.
what the fudge, man? That's stupid.
Yeah. Look, man, I'm going to try it again. I think Denver wins this game. I know Surtan's out, and that's big for their defense. Denver's defense, okay. Before that fourth quarter against the Giants a couple weeks ago, Denver was getting boat race, and it's like, are they doing? Maybe that 33-point improbable fourth quarter woke them up. Maybe they're like, hey, you know what? We might have been winning games, but we haven't really played like the team that made the playoffs last year. They have a great game against Dallas. Like Dallas has an offense. Everybody was playing, and they held them down. They put up 44, which, okay, it's against Dallas's defense. Dallas doesn't play well on the road, but still. Dallas's offense is really good. And that Denver defense looked finally like what we were expecting this year. Feel like they got some momentum. They've scored 77 points the last 2 weeks. Granted, the Texans' defense, we know, is different. That's the thing we highlight about them every single week. Without Patrick Surtain, it's obviously a little bit different. But Bo Nix starting to get it together. RJ Harvey had a great game. Three tutties. Where the fuck did that come from? Dobbins, Sutton, Troy Franklin had a breakout. I remember we were talking about it, like, who's it going to be, Mims or Franklin that has the big game? It was Franklin. And really, man, like Denver collapsed at Indy in week 2. They had that game in hand, and then they lost on a bullshit leverage call on a 60-plus yard field goal. At the Chargers, they had that game. They collapsed late. I mean, realistically, we could be talking about an 8-0 Denver Broncos team right now. I don't think Houston's offense, even with Nico Collins coming back, if he indeed is coming back, is going to have the same success against the Broncos defense. Denver's pass rush is way better than San Francisco's. They have guys in the secondary, even without Surtain. And I just think Denver's offense brings a different look than what San Francisco was showing last week. So I like Denver here. I think the Broncos are the right side in this one.
Yeah. Down to be wrong again.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, if Houston does it again, maybe they're coming back to life. I don't understand. I'm like at a loss for words what we saw last weekend. LA Chargers at the Titans. Brad, the Chargers were 10.5-point favorites a couple days ago. This line's come down 2 points in a few days. Money's coming in on Tennessee. Are you riding with the Titans here, getting a healthy 8.5 at home for Chargers west to east travel?
I'd rather take the team on the road trip than take this Tennessee Titans team. Not only do they suck, but their interim head coach is a pansy. The dude is afraid to go for it when it's like 4th and 4 where they're getting beat by multiple scores. Like, you're never going to get into a game if you're punting the football. But this also is an offense that really can't sustain drives. They had a few explosives. I'm not that I'm here for the Chargers, but listen, with Joe Alt back in that lineup, the Chargers look much better.
Yep.
They also have discovered a running game with Kaimi Vidal. I'm not like saying I'm on the Chargers bandwagon all of a sudden, but I just think the Tennessee Titans stink.
Yeah. Listen, this line could find a bottom and ultimately start swinging back up here. But I like the Chargers in this spot. And I understand the West to East is tough. You know, it's 10 a.m. or not 10, it's 9 a.m. because it's 2 hour, not 3 hour difference in Nashville. But X's and O's wise, is as long as the Chargers don't like sleepwalk in this game, I think they should win handedly. You know, they had a mini bye. Kamani Vidal looked great. They got Laddie Daddy, they got Keen Daddy, they got Q. Aronde Gadsden all of a sudden is the second coming of Antonio Gates. Their defense played a lot better. I think the Titans can have like some of those nice drives, but ultimately over the course of 60 minutes, I feel like the Chargers should be able to take care of business and win by double digits in this one. It's probably going to be a nice prop day. I'm not sure if Jeffrey Simmons is out. I know he missed last week. Hence probably one of the reasons why it was a little easier for Jonathan Taylor to do what he did for 3 tutties. Oh, wait a minute. Was Jeffrey Simmons traded? No, is that we're bugging here? No. Okay. He didn't practice today, Jeffrey Simmons. Okay, so assuming he's out, I think Vidal, it's a big prop game, but I like what the Chargers have in this one.
They're going to set Vidal's line way too low. And
you think it's going to be low after his game last week?
Yeah, dude, because like there's always this fear that they're just not going to run the ball and stay committed to the run.
Yeah, I mean, could be. What's just no number offered right now? What's your fair line for Vidal?
Fair line's 58.5. They'll probably open him at 52.5. He'll get steamed up to 60. That's probably where I fear. What I would play up to would be probably 62.5. It was like if they post 62.5 and under, I'm gonna take the over.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about the Bears-Bengals? Bears are laying 3 at Cincinnati, a high total of 50.5. Joe Flacco in question status. Assuming Flacco plays, any feel on this game? Do you like the over? I think Cincinnati's overs at home have been like an ATM cashing, straight cash money.
You ready for what I'm going to take?
Yeah.
I'm going to alt both Monangai and Swift's rushing overs. So basically like Swift will probably be, if I'm being honest, like 65.5. Monangai will probably be 28.5, which means I'll take Swift 70, Monangai 30, and then parlay those together in the same game parlay. The Bengals are the gift that keeps on giving. It's not that they're terrible against the run. If you eliminate all of the explosive plays, they're a good run defense. But they give up so many explosive plays that teams' stats, running back stats, are insane against them. And the Bears have shown, we thought at the beginning of the season they were going to be a pass first team, but they've shown a commitment now that they have full confidence in DeAndre Swift and Kamanungai that they're going to run the ball. I think that it's going to be a big game for both running backs in this game. And what's funny is DeAndre Swift keeps carrying this injured designation with a groin injury, but he still looks pretty freaking good.
Yeah, I think every week this is just status quo, standard operating procedure. Maybe we're not got to get in the end zone. I do like that look here. If Flacco plays, though, I think I like the over here. I think this could be a high-scoring game, but I do like the rushing look. My boy is Savage, 9 Ks through 4 2/3. You know what? I'm mad at myself. I had a really busy day today, so I didn't really take the time to look at the props. I knew Savage was starting, obviously, but I didn't look at the props. And apparently, it might have been set at 4.5 strikeouts, which is crazy. And like, bro, you know me, college baseball is my first love now, or not my first.
Yeah.
It's my love. So I watched Savage for years at East Carolina, so I know like years ago that what he was capable of, and I knew after like a subpar start earlier in the series, he was going to have a big bounce back. And I'm mad at myself because I didn't look. Like I would have took the over, especially at his last start in the season. I felt like he was going to have a good game, and I'm just so mad at myself that I didn't take it. And like I felt it was probably going to be a ladder piece, and chances are he probably broke the ladder already. So I'm really disgusted in my performance this evening. All right, Indianapolis -3 at Pittsburgh. Do the Colts keep on rolling?
Why is this only 3?
I asked myself the same thing.
The Steelers' defense is not good.
Yeah.
Like, it's a team that can get pressure on the quarterback occasionally, but like as a whole, they're not a good unit. And then offensively, man, it's sad, man. It's sad. Like, I just can't understand why this team just feels like they have to go out of 12 personnel so much. Like, it would be one thing if they were successful at it, but they stink out of 12 personnel. It's like it's an Arthur Smith thing. I know people are gonna say it's Arthur Smith, but like, why are you trying to? What is it? Fit a square peg into a round hole? Like, it's just not working. You don't need the first offensive play of the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers was throwing a freaking, I don't know what, like a shallow out. I don't even know what route he ran. Maybe a bubble. It was like to a freaking 280-pound tight end. Like, what was that for? Like, their offense is such a freaking joke, man. And now they're playing against a Colts team that I think is legit, that will be able to have success on the ground against them. Their secondary will get torched by the most efficient quarterback in the NFL, and Danny Dimes. I like the Colts -3.
I don't understand why Indianapolis is -3. This is probably the third time this has happened where Colts are dogs at the Rams. And granted, it's the Rams. Wrong team favored. Colts should have won that game. That was some pretty crazy calls and weird. Like Adonai Mitchell happened. If he wasn't born, like Colts probably win that game by 10 points at least. Why are they an underdog at the Chargers? We said a couple weeks ago, we said the same thing. Wrong team favored. Made no sense. Blow out the Chargers. Saying the same thing here. They're not underdogs, but why are at Pittsburgh? But why are they not more like 6.5? What are we missing? Is there some injury news that we don't know? I don't get it. Indianapolis is most likely going to be my favorite play of the week. Like, until I see the Indy regression hit, if it ever comes, this is a steam train right now. And it's not just that, it's the matchup. They match up so well against Pittsburgh. Like, Indianapolis's defense is okay. It's not great. But their deficiencies, what?
Yeah, not great, but
their deficiencies, I don't think Pittsburgh is going to be able to overcome. Like, Pittsburgh has one legitimate receiver in Papa DK. Their run game isn't that great with Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren. It's okay. Rodgers hasn't been playing out of his mind. He had like a couple pretty good games. And then on the other side, their defense isn't Steel Curtain of old. So I'm not really seeing why Pittsburgh is only a 3-point dog at home in this contest. It's not a crazy travel spot. Indiana to Pittsburgh is relatively close. So I'm rolling with the Colts here -3. I think this line should be more like 6.5. Yeah. So give me Indianapolis here. I'm probably going to be playing that one straight. That is that's an interesting number in my opinion. Unless there's something that like we don't know injury-wise, I can't for the life of me figure out why it's 3 points.
I can't either.
San Francisco at the Giants. It's staying firm at 2.5. Looks like it's about to tip, though, to 3. Cam Scatterbo is out for the year, unfortunately.
Bummer.
Tyrone Tracy will slot back in, but he was good last year. Jackson Dart's been playing really well. San Francisco, west to east travel, long road. They got the break speed off of them by Houston. Is this a bounce back spot for the 49ers, or is it a bounce back spot for the New Jersey Giants?
Bounce back spot for the Niners. Man, a lot of road favorites this week, but people are going to realize the absence of Cam Scatterbo is really huge because he was so great at picking up those gritty first downs. Now it puts a lot of weight on the shoulders of Jackson Dart. Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary are not the answer for this running game. I feel really bad for the Giants faithful. They're going to get destroyed.
I think the Giants are going to hang tight here, but
cover 2.5.
But ultimately, probably not. Ultimately, I think San Francisco is going to win and cover this game. But I'm saying I think the Giants are going to hang around here, and San Francisco maybe gets like a late touchdown. I just don't think the Giants are going to be able to contain Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Big Dick Kittle. We were all over that study last week. Imagine not taking Kittle to score. It was free. Do we not say it was free? Do we not advertise the freeness of George Big Dick Kittle getting into the end zone last week on National Tight Ends Day as the founding father? Brad, did we or did we not?
He did.
And it happened.
100% happened.
The one win I could take out of that San Francisco game. But Kittle's back, man. That's big. I don't know if Ricky Pearsall's coming back. I don't know what to do with that is. McCaffrey is a dog. Question, though, surrounding the quarterback. I know Mac Jones got banged around again. He's been fighting those injuries. Not sure if Brock Purdy's going to be eligible.
Out again.
Like, is Purdy officially out?
I think he's trending out is the last I heard. And trending out, you know what that means, bro.
Yeah. Well, so that's really the one thing. Not sure if it's going to be Mac Jones again. He's been battling injuries. And look, man, this Giants pass rush is for real. Let me do a quick dive here. So obviously, it makes a difference if they're going down to their third string quarterback. I mean, that's really the one area where the Giants thrive on defense is the pass rush. Okay, looks like Matt Jones did practice today. Looks like he's probably going to play. So it's probably another game with the leader of the Young Republicans Club in Mac Jones. Probably lean San Francisco here. I think they get right. It's a tough travel spot, but I think the Niners pull it off.
Yeah.
All right, Minnesota Vikings are 8.5-point dogs at the Lions. Brad, I'll be honest, man. What we saw from the Vikings last week was some of the worst quarterback play I've ever seen in my life. I'm not saying that me or you would have done better than Carson Wentz, but what I'm saying is we probably don't do much worse. I think that's fair. That was, and I understand Wentz was hurt, but it was some of the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my life. I think McCarthy should be back. Don't know how much of an upgrade that is. Vikings defense is not what it was last year, not even close. They got the playmakers in Jettas, Addison, Hawkinson, Mason. Aaron Jones is back. I don't think it matters, man. Detroit's full steam ahead right now, fresh off the bye. Their money off the bye under Dan Campbell. I think Detroit's going to do whatever the hell they want for 60 minutes. I think Detroit's going to win big here. I'm going with the Lions to cover this divisional number.
Tough game for JJ because I know he's not ready or they're not ready to put him back in, but Carson Wentz having season injury surgery. I will pat myself on the back for this Carson Wentz breakdown that I gave where how putrid he was outside of the minimal runs that he had that was boosting his PFF grade of like 43, which probably should have been 30, which is like one of the worst for a starting quarterback in a very long time. They're going to get pressure on him. The offensive line is just really tough. It's really banged up right now for the Vikings. The Lions win this game. And it's funny because I think the line would be different if the Lions didn't play Tampa, right? Where Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense showed out. This Vikings defense not good. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery are going to have a field day.
I'm putting up a tweet here for Trey Savage, but I tend to agree. 10 strikeouts in 5 innings, by the way. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I love this. I love this guy. Can't believe he fell to 20th in the draft. But, yeah, I agree. I think this is a big prop game. I think Gibbs is going to have a big one. I think Amon-Ra is going to have a big one. This could be a game where J-Mo finally wakes up, maybe has like one of those 60-yard signature tutties. I feel like the Lions are going to win big here. And the thing about Detroit, man, like you have to worry about almost every other team is they can let their foot off the gas. Yeah. Detroit doesn't do that. Detroit plays 60 minutes hard. They don't let up. So I think 8.5 is too small here. I think honestly this line should be more like 12.5. I think the Lions are going to hammer the Vikings. I think McCarthy's going to be under pressure all day long. I think he's going to make some bad decisions. Could potentially be looking at a Detroit defense, special teams, anytime tutty. Wow, we're actually got some props out, dude. We have props out. Interesting. Wednesdays, we're starting to get the props back out early.
For the Lions game, props are out.
Yeah. Gibbs minus 200 score, plus 380 to score first. Detroit's defense is 490 to score. I don't know. I don't feel like that's big enough for a defense to score.
I think I think I like Gibbs receiving yards this week. Flores will be aggressive to try to get to Jared Goff, make life uncomfortable, which leaves the outlets a lot.
I mean, Gibbs hit it the first play against
Yeah.
Tampa.
He's amazing.
Any love for Gibbs 40-1 have the most receiving yards? Probably not, but
Nah.
it's fun. It's fun. All right. New Orleans at the Rams 14.5. This number came up. This number was 13.5. It's been getting hit. Moved up a point and a half. Any love on New Orleans here, Brad? Or do you think the Rams off the bye with Puka back come out guns blazing?
Tyler Shuck, the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Man, the Saints suck.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I was like, the Bucks could have won that game by 35 plus.
The Bucks got hosed on one of the worst calls, and the NFL does nothing.
Worse. I was watching the game with my friends, and with my family, and I was like yelling, "New York better call! New York better call!" The Bucks had multiple occasions where there were really bad calls. Not saying the Rams are better than the Bucks, but in terms of pressure on the quarterback, the Rams are light years better. They're top 5 in pressure rate. You think Tyler Shuck's going to be comfortable throwing to Shaheed and Olave on a team that's just not good at protecting the quarterback, not running the ball well? I don't want to lay 14.5 in the NFL ever, though. But I do think the Rams cover. I would never lay the 14.5.
You can lay 14 on DK. I'm laying it with the Rams, dude. I think the Rams off the bye rested Puka back. Here's the thing, right? New Orleans, and we talked about this last week against Tampa. They're a bad team, but they're usually competitive. They play hard. They played hard against Tampa, and they still lost by 20. Should have lost by at least 27. And they had a ridiculous goal line stand from the 1 yard line 4 times in a row. Tampa didn't score, and they got blown out. Now they're traveling cross country to the Rams off a bye with Puka Nacua back.
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck making his first start against a team that can get after the quarterback. The run game is depleted. Alvin Kamara looks washed. Kamara looks like he's got no burst. I think the Rams are. Listen, I hate taking these big numbers, and there's so many favorites this week that we like. But I think the Rams are going to win big here. I think the Rams win big. Savage, by the way, just struck out his 11th batter.
Holy shit!
Why didn't I'm so mad at myself. I didn't look at it and be like, nah, he's not going to do it. I didn't even look at it. I was so busy today, and I didn't even think to look at it. I'm disgusted with myself.
Dude, I really like the Dodgers, but I would love for the Blue Jays, this specific Blue Jays team, to win.
I took a 100-1 Savage MVP ticket pre-World Series.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's not going to win it, though. I took Yamamoto 20-1 this morning for a very specific path to happen. I thought it was worth a look. I can't get over it because I love Savage, bro. I bet on him for years at ECU. I've been a huge fan of his, and I know what he's capable of. And I know, there was probably a lot of people discounting him after a subpar outing in game 1. And I knew he was going to have a big one, and it got by me. And I would have bet his K prop over, no doubt. I probably would have sprinkled the ladder. He probably broke the ladder, to be honest. There's probably, if his number was 4.5, there's probably no book that was offering more than 8 or 9 Ks. And he's already at 11. He's one pitch away from getting 12 Ks through 6 innings as a rookie, making his 9th MLB start in the fucking World Series at the Dodgers. Let's see. Did not get the 12th K, but he is out of it. God damn. Send him out. Keep sending him out. Keep sending him out. If they send him out, maybe my MVP ticket's somewhat alive. Although I think Vladdy's probably going to get it.
Vladdy's getting it.
All right, so we have a few more here. Jags -3 at the Raiders. Both teams off a bye. I don't care. Do you have anything in this one?
No, I don't. I think the Jags cover, but like I don't trust them. I don't have any real analysis. They can't get their wide receivers consistently involved, but their run game's not good enough.
Yep.
I'd probably take the Raiders plus the 3.
Plus the 3?
Yeah.
On DK, Jags are -118 at -3. So I would probably wait to see if we get a 3.5. I'm not rushing to the window. I'm not going to bet this game. I'm probably going to have absolutely nothing to do with this game. I don't even think I'm going to put anything props wise. But if you wanted to bet this game, I'd probably wait till later in the week, see if the Jags catch some steam and get up to 3.5. Then you get Vegas as a home 3 and a hook, traveling east to west. This is a long road trip for Jacksonville, but I don't love it. I don't think it's anything special. Like the advantage of the bye week, there's not really much when both teams are on a bye. Like you don't have the rest advantage. Not sure why this game's not prime time, but the marquee matchup of the week is Kansas City at Buffalo. Chiefs a small favorite. Brad, in the regular season career head-to-head, Josh Allen and the Bills are 4-0 against Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. And it flips in the postseason. Does Buffalo go 5-0 here?
No. Buffalo sucks. They got lucky that they played against freaking Andy Dalton. I will take my buddy just said Savage got ice in the veins. I will take Kareem Hunt rushing yards because Bills' run defense stinks, but I think the Kansas City Chiefs win and cover in this game. I think the statement's made. Even though the Chiefs don't really care about making a statement, I just think they're playing really good football right now.
Bro, I think Kansas City found their groove. We haven't let's be real for a second right now. We have not seen Kansas City football look this good, this in sync, this cohesive, this dominant in a couple of years. And it's obviously not a coincidence that Rashee Rice comes back and this starts happening. But this team looks in sync. And granted, they played two bad teams. They played the Commanders with Mariota and the Raiders. But it doesn't matter. They are dialed in. Rashee Rice, it is insane what this guy brings and all of a sudden what they look like. It truly is. Mahomes looks awesome. I know he had 2 picks. One of them was obviously not his fault. I mean, it was off Kelsey's fucking face. Look, man, I don't care about the past trends. If we're evaluating right now, Kansas City looks great. They look like a Super Bowl contender yet again. Buffalo, man, their defense has been a question mark all year. Ed Oliver's out for the season. That is gigantic. Ed Oliver is their single most important player on defense. He's out for the year. Their secondary has been a liability all season. They played Carolina and Andy Dalton. I think some people might be high, like, oh, Buffalo's back, maybe. But I think the Chiefs get this one done, man. A small favorite. This should be a Sunday night game, to be honest. But I'm going to go with Kansas City here. I'm going to keep going with the Rashee Rice props. And I'm going to tell you something else, buddy. By the way, I gave out the Kelsey numbers free. Touchdown catches on for Monday's game. Rashee Rice being back frees up Kelsey. Now we've seen Kelsey the last couple of weeks have some pep in his step and get some of these plus matchups. I like the Chiefs here, man. I realize I put -1.5 for Buffalo, but I like the Chiefs here. I think they're going to win this game. I think it'll probably end up being a 1-possession game because it usually is like that. But for them, I'm going to say the Chiefs get this one done, buddy.
Yep, I agree.
Seattle at the Commanders. Looks like JD is back. This line was 3.5. It's come down. I'm actually glad it came down. So Seattle's off the bye. JD should be back. Terry McLaurin is out. West to east is difficult, but thing to keep in mind, like it's a long trip. Like Seattle's deep, dude. It's not just west, but it's north. That's a deep flight to the eastern seaboard. But this is not a 1:00 start. This is an 8:20 start. So that travel time is difficult, a lot more so because of the time difference. And you're starting at 1:00, which is really 10 a.m. But this is an 8:20 game. That aside, it's not like a huge factor in my cap. I just don't think Washington's defense is anything close to what it was last year. Their offense has not been in sync. They haven't really played a good game against a good team. Dallas's defense is awful. It's only good game offensively. They really looked, like the Commanders of last year. Or I'm sorry, not the Cowboys, the Chargers. That was the only impressive win they have. I think JSN's going to eat standard operating procedure. Darnold, Walker, Charbonnet, Kupp. I think Seattle's defense is getting healthy, and when it's healthy, I had a lot of questions about their defense early in the season because I'm like they're so much better than what they've been showing. They should be playing so much better, but now they're getting healthy in the secondary. I think Seattle's going to win this game. I like Seattle to win and cover the 3 here.
Yeah, I've seen that this has been a so-called quote-unquote kitchen sink game for the Commanders. I'm just not buying it. I just don't think this Commanders team is really cohesive. What's funny, Dan Quinn slowed or simplified the defense for the Commanders. Listen, dude, this is not high school football. These are grown men playing against other grown men in the best football league in the world. And you're simplifying the defense, probably what needs to be more complex than any other structure in the game. That is never good. Now you're playing against a Seattle team who's just I think they're going to piece them up. I know the Commanders can have their way at times against the run game, but I don't think Seattle particularly cares. I think Seattle's just using the run game to supplement those short yardage situations, move the sticks, goal line. They like to run the ball. I think they're going to have success through the air. Commanders are too banged up. Their defense is not good enough as a whole. And 3 just seems really nice. And I also don't think this is it's not a game where I'm running to the window, but I just think 3 is going to hit.
For Seattle, you mean?
Yeah, Seattle, excuse me.
I'll be honest, dude. I'm probably running the window before this gets back up to 3 and a hook. I really think Seattle's going to have a big game here off the bye because Seattle was battling some injuries too. You know what I'm saying? So it's and they put a hurting on Houston. And granted, Houston's not a good team in my opinion, but their defense is still legit. They have a really good defense, and JSN was just big dicking them the whole night. He looked like daddy. He was posterizing Derek Stingley and whoever else that they decided to throw out there. Like JSN was looking real nice. And the way he's been this year, there's just no stopping him. I like Seattle here, man. I think they're a really good team. Bro, you remember from the preseason, I thought Seattle was a legitimate chance to win the NFC West, and they had the worst odds, and I didn't get it. I thought the Seahawks were going to be a 10-plus win team, and they're looking good. Night cap for week 1 is Arizona at Dallas. This line was 3. It's coming down to 2.5. Not sure if it's Kyler Murray yet. It might be another week of Jacoby Brissett. Highest total on the board at 53.5. Brad, I gotta be honest. I think it's more of a advantage of Brissett starting. Brissett has been great in his limited action. He's making plays happen. He's not turning the ball over. He's just keeping the chains going. This Dallas defense is bad, so Arizona can definitely score. If Kyler Murray goes, strangely, is it a downgrade for you?
Yeah, I slightly, but I just think this Cowboys defense is just so bad where I think that anybody's live against them. Any team in the NFL is live against the Cowboys because defensively they'll be able to keep up, and it just puts a lot of pressure on the offense. I don't have an opinion for this game. I'm probably going to wait until game time. I slightly lean the Cardinals, but that's just gross saying it. Just because like this is god awful defense.
Mm-hmm. I think Dallas wins this game. I'm not certain right now. I want to see what the quarterback situation is before. So, like, I probably won't really make a pick until Monday night or Monday afternoon. But I do like Dallas in this one. I think the Cowboys get this one done. Ultimately, if we're talking about this on Wednesday, I just think after the embarrassment that they had last week at Denver, their offense is going to rip. And I think their defense can do enough in this contest. I don't have a super great feel on them to cover 2.5 right now. Although if they win, they probably are going to, just based on percentage of covers. But I do lean Dallas. I think if Brissett gets announced that he's the starter, and like listen, Kyler Murray would be coming off a multi-week absence of a lower body injury. His mobility is a big part of it. And really, he wasn't playing well before he got hurt. I still think if he gets ruled out and Brissett's in, I feel like it wouldn't be a surprise to see Dallas move up a full point to 3.5. And if that were to happen, then I might take the Cardinals with the spread. But ultimately, I do think Dallas walks away in their own building with a W.
Yeah.
But that will do it for us this evening. Really appreciate you guys locking in with us during another great World Series game. An absolute gem by my incubator guy, Trey Savage. Absolutely dialed in tonight. Remember, this is Wednesday. This is middle of the week previews and thoughts and leans. Sunday morning kickoff will be live yet again. We will be going through our final cards. He is Brad Thomas. I am Mr. JohnnyVTV. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you Sunday morning.